Hi, this is Donna Shea, Social Emotional Learning Specialist in Massachusetts. And today I'm talking about texting. Sometimes I get an email or a call from a parent who asks if I can put out some specific tips on a specific topic. And one came in this week, could you talk to tweens and teens about texting? So I have a short little webinar here to talk about some of the things that are kind of the rules about texting, which you may or may not already know. So tip number one is to remember that texting is just words. So there's no emotion and there's no context. So what's happening is you're writing your text and hearing your voice in your head of how you think it sounds. And then the person who's reading it reads it in their voice and how they think it sounds. And that could be two completely different voices. Emoticons can help, but it's very important to remember that your receiver may be reading in a very different voice than you're sending it. You want to be careful with jokes or making comments, especially sarcasm, that might be taken the wrong way. Tip number two is to always remember to be kind and use your manners, whether you're in person or whether you're texting or online. Same manners apply as they do in real life. So if you're not going to say it to somebody in real life, you're not going to say it to somebody online. And gossiping or talking about other people via texting or via internet is also not nice and not kind. And I think one of the couple of things to remember is there is somebody on that other end that you're talking to. So you want to remember to treat them like a person, and that you don't want people gossiping or trash talking about you behind your back. So a really good rule, and it's hard to do, but if you don't talk about people who are not in the room with you, then you'll never fall into this trap of saying mean things about people who aren't there. Number three is think before you text, especially when you are upset about something or with someone, because once you send those words, it's really, really tough to take them back. And not only can you really hurt somebody and damage a friendship or relationship for a long time or permanently, there's also a digital footprint. So even if you delete something that you sent that wasn't kind or wasn't nice, it's always going to be there. And if somebody really, really wanted to find it, they could find the digital footprint that you're leaving behind. Tip number four is don't text other friends when you're spending time with someone. It's rude. It's different if you're like together and you're looking at stuff and you're texting, a bunch of people together. But if, you invited somebody over, if you're at your, having dinner at your grandma's house, those people care very much about you, and they deserve your full attention. So it's really important to try to remember to put that phone down. Design an away message. That's easy to do now, so that your friends know that you're just busy and that you don't have to feel like you're texting them back right away and end up being rude to somebody else. Tip number five is about how many texts should you send before if somebody's not getting back to you. So send no more than three strikes and you're done to someone who isn't texting you back. There's a really probably good reason why they haven't texted you back. And so after three, wait for them to get back to you. And if you don't do that and you keep texting them, it can become pretty irritating to the person on the other end. So three is your number and then wait. Tip number six is if someone is texting and telling you to do something or saying things that make you uncomfortable, then you definitely want to stop and block and report it to an adult that you trust. So what I mean by that is to stop responding to the person who's making you uncomfortable. And if it's something that's really out of line, you want to block that person from being able to message you, and then report it to someone that you trust and let them know what's going on. There's no reason for you to respond to somebody who isn't being nice. There's no reason to keep them on your friends list if they're not being nice. And if you're being cyberbullied, there are laws about that, and you should report it to somebody that can help you. Number eight is, you're sending more than a couple of texts. And I say this to my own kids, that it becomes a call or a conversation after so many texts go back and forth. Texting does not replace talking to people, does not replace talking to your friends. Number nine is texts are designed and supposed to be short messages. So what you don't want to do is send long messages and multiple messages and messages that break up into multiple messages. It's too hard for the other person to pay attention to. If you have a lot to say, it's better to do some FaceTime or. And the last tip that I have is to know the signals for when the other person is ready to end that conversation in a text way. So what will happen is their answers will get shorter and shorter, or they'll send an emoticon like a thumbs up or a smiley face or the letter K to show that they're finished talking for now. And it's important to pay attention to that and stop texting. So I'm going to end this particular conversation by letting you know that there are many more tips that my colleague Nadine and I have put into 2 different books. One is for teens and one is for kids up until early middle school. So the teen book has a bit more mature information in it, but both books have tips on making and keeping friends and how to be successful at that. And if your parent is interested in contacting me about some of the things that we do here in Massachusetts, or want to find me on Facebook or send me a note, this is the way to do that. And as always, it's a pleasure making these videos and getting a chance to talk to everyone. So I do hope that it's helpful. I will look forward to chatting with you again sometime.